Hello, everyone. This is Charles Harper, and one of the questions I recently got about doing, and I'm going to go to Blog Talk Radio right now, about doing a Blog Talk Radio show, is how you effectively brand around the show, or do you brand the show around a particular website? And I'm going to give you my opinion on this. And of course, you're free to do it the way that you think will make sense, but here's sort of the way that Blog Talk Radio works. Because the site, and I'm going to go to my show page right now, right? And so let's just take the show page. Now I have gainmindshare.com, and that is where I've built kind of a blog around local business, local business here in central Pennsylvania, and and I've been moving some of my consultant-based content there also. Having said that, I don't necessarily think that any of the sites are as important as the content I'm creating uh, on the show. And so what I think is that you want to try to, and for instance, okay, so I've got GameMindShare.com here. Now, if I look at this show that I did with Andy Green, right? I think that that show was shared enough. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy that, and what I'm going to do, we're going to go to PR Checker, right? If I was to just check the page rank of that particular show, and I think that the last time I checked, it was a page rank 4, which is pretty good for a Blog Talk Radio show. Let's just put it in here. Now, and the reason that it is a 4, it really has everything to do with the fact that it had been shared a lot of times, and this was the, um, one of the, this is the guy who is ahead of score here, right? So let's just take a look at this and see what this still says. Okay, so it's still a page rank 4, pretty good. So what I think you want to do is not think about um, how you want to brand your show to the site. I think you want to do a couple of different things. You want to leave the show where it is. And so, since most of you use WordPress, what you want to do is you want to take the individual shows and embed them in posts. So, in this case, I would just take the embed code for this show and embed it in a relevant post, right? And let the Blog Talk Radio player be in a particular post. Now, of course, I can link out from gainmindshare.com. I can link out from any of my sites, but I can also go in the other direction. I can also go on the other direction. Oh, I think this commercial is playing. I'm going to stop it here. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to stop this commercial here. Okay, so we're going to stop that. Okay, so what you want to do is take the individual shows, embed them in the post. And so you want to take um, um, and if you have time to do this, or if you're inclined, I think you should create an additional post for each individual show. And what that does is that gives you an opportunity to then repost that show in LinkedIn, repost it in Facebook, because you're going to get it posted once by doing it with Blog Talk Radio. You're going to then have another opportunity to post, an excuse to post, by using a post that you create in WordPress, and you would have another opportunity to do it by creating a video. And some people are gonna want to see the video. Some are gonna want to read your post. Some are gonna want to listen to it on Blog Talk Radio. So if you have multiple sites what you want to do is you want to use the embed player on all of those sites so that people who come to those sites will find out about the show. But if you want to use the show to drive your business, what you want to do is use your individual shows and send people verbally to the site where you want to based on the content that you're creating. So sometimes you're going to send people to, let's say, your blog based on the content of the show. Sometimes you're going to send people to your website based on the content of the show. Sometimes you're going to send people to your YouTube channel based on the content of your show. You want to allow the content of the show to drive where you send your visitors, right? So let's say that on this show that I'm doing with Andy Green, I know that, okay, this guy's ahead of score, and if somebody's listening to this, maybe I want them to hear all the rest of my interviews. And I want them to get them on YouTube. Well, I'm gonna say at the end of that show, hey, you can catch all of my interviews on my YouTube channel, right? And go on over there. Now, that does not exclude me, having my trailer or my bumper on the shows at the beginning and end, but in the show. So people who are really listening, right? People who are really cued in, you have to think about this in this way. The people who are cued in and they took the time to listen, they're into you, right? And so because they're into you, you want to send them something, someplace specific so that you can get the result that you kind of want. And in essence, you could even set up a separate landing page for people who come from the show. So another thing you could do is you could say set up a landing page where the only place where you have that URL is from the show that you created, right? So you know that people who opted in through that URL, they came from your show, and you'll start to get an idea of what your show is producing. But you want to let the content drive the people, and then you want to then allow the you want to have the radio show by embed code. And let me show you this again. If I go to my show page, right, I can go and literally get, if I go to my show page, I can get the player, right? So let's it's gonna go here. Boy, Google Chrome is a nightmare these days. Okay, so yeah, so basically what I want to do is I want to get the individual players for these shows and put them where I want them to be. Right now, the other thing I can do is I can embed my entire channel show, or I can embed the individual shows. I would embed the channels on all my websites. I would embed the shows where they're relevant, right? So I hope that answers. I think at least one of you had this question, and maybe for others of you, this might answer a question of yours. Okay, so I'm sorry it looks like it's taken 9 minutes. I didn't even realize 9 minutes had passed, so I'm sorry for talking so much about this, and I hope that this really helps you. Okay, thanks, and have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.